Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time?
She's not important. She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled. She became a, quote, princess.
What do Americans really think of Harry and Meghan? We despise them.
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
But she is a malignant narcissist who cannot get enough of herself while she simultaneously plays the victim.
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist.
And here you can kind of zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness.
But they can't make money off the royal family.
And she also is pretending that she's crying. And we did a zero in, like we zoomed in just to see, there isn't a tear in sight.
Now make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy.
It's all bullshit.
So why did you say yes to doing this show?
Because it's you. And to me, that means...
Like, did she actually believe genuinely that this charade would work? Like, how does she not get it?
While she never stops whining.
The California Sun was supposed to represent a fresh start for Meghan Markle, a golden new chapter after dramatically quitting royal life. But instead of a Hollywood fairy tale, it seems the carefully constructed facade is cracking under pressure. Whispers have turned into shouts, and the dream of a perfect, independent empire is reportedly being threatened by a relentless barrage of public relations disasters, questionable choices, and rumors that just won't die.
Wasn't there some speculation that she was on Epstein's yacht at one point in time?
It appears the polished smile might be hiding a much messier reality, a truth more complicated and controversial than anyone imagined. The performance of authenticity, once perhaps Meghan's strong suit, seems to be constantly on trial, and the verdict from the court of public opinion is looking increasingly harsh.
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist.
A particularly damaging moment, still talked about, came during a podcast appearance, reportedly with self-made billionaire Jamie Kern-Lima. While Meghan spoke of immense pressures and dabbed her eyes, eagle-eyed viewers were quick to point out the glaring lack of actual tears. To many, it felt less like genuine vulnerability and more like a staged emotional display.
And she also is pretending that she's crying. And we did a zero in, like we zoomed in just to see, there isn't a tear in sight.
This skepticism exploded online when an old video clip of Meghan herself resurfaced, in which she laughingly admits she can conjure tears on command, even joking, "Oh, I can do that so well."
Now make yourself cry. Oh, I can do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy.
Suddenly, those podcast tears looked more like a scene from an old audition tape than heartfelt emotion, fueling the narrative that she's always acting. It certainly didn't help that various body language experts have since publicly dissected her interviews and appearances, often highlighting what they claim is a noticeable disconnect between her spoken words and her oddly composed facial expressions or mismatched gestures. They suggest that could point to deeper discomfort or even deception.
This is fake. She knows exactly when that happened. The eye search she's got going on there, that's forced and faked, as is the facial expression.
But it wasn't just her emotional displays raising eyebrows. Her attempts to cling to a former life were also making headlines. It seems Meghan just can't shake off the drama connected to her royal past. There have been repeated reports, sparking fresh anger each time, that she's used Her Royal Highness title or similar royal names on things like private gifts or in other unofficial ways, long after everyone thought the agreement was that she wouldn't.
And here you can kind of zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex.
Unsurprisingly, this hasn't gone down well with many people or the media, leading to constant calls for both her and Harry to lose all their remaining royal titles for good. The polls, especially in the UK, keep showing that a lot of people want this to happen. Adding to all this are ongoing whispers from insiders that King Charles and Prince William don't see eye to eye on this. Sources say Charles might be reluctant to make things worse with the family, but William is reportedly much stricter and would be ready to see their titles completely removed if it's needed to protect the royal family's reputation. For those who criticize Meghan, these stories and the whole argument over titles are just more proof that she can't, or won't, let go of the royal status and perks she supposedly walked away from. But even as she dealt with these royal title headaches, her new business ventures were also running into serious trouble. Her much-anticipated lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, seemed to stumble almost immediately out of the gate, quickly followed by considerable confusion surrounding a potential offshoot or quiet rebranding known as Ever.
And I've been waiting for a moment to share a name that I had secured in 2022, and this is the moment, and it's called As Ever.
The launch itself was reportedly plagued with problems that had internet commentators working overtime. Allegations swiftly flew that its primary logo bore an uncanny resemblance to the official coat of arms of a historic town in Spain, raising eyebrows and questions about originality.
Was the As Ever logo bears a striking resemblance to the town's historical coat of arms, which features, you guessed it, a palm tree with two birds, and you can see it side by side here alongside Meghan's logo.
Then came reports that the brand name itself, or its variations, clashed with several other small businesses already in operation, sparking online outcry and accusations of insufficient research. Even the initial product teases, like very limited batches of jams sent to influencers, were viewed with deep suspicion by many. When these items sold out almost instantly, though they weren't widely available for purchase, many suggested it was a classic marketing ploy to manufacture hype and a sense of exclusivity rather than an indicator of genuine, overwhelming demand. The overall critical reception for these ventures has been largely brutal, with numerous commentators dismissing them as out of touch, poorly executed, and looking very much like desperate attempts to monetize her fractured fame. But branding blunders might be the least of her worries, as whispers from a more shadowy past continue to surface. Echoes of a so-called yacht girl, past, and alleged, though unproven, connections to the infamous Jeffrey Epstein network continue to haunt Meghan's carefully polished image. These persistent rumors, often bubbling up from shadowy online forums and attributed to unnamed sources, paint a picture of her early career allegedly involving attendance at exclusive parties on private yachts hosted by wealthy, powerful men, a term frequently loaded with salacious undertones. More disturbingly, some of these whispers have attempted to link her, however vaguely and without any concrete public proof, to Jeffrey Epstein's circle or even his properties, sometimes suggesting a timeline that might, according to these claims, overlap with Prince Andrew's known association with the disgraced financier. Sources allege these connections, though it must be stressed that no definitive evidence has ever publicly surfaced to substantiate them. Adding yet more fuel to this fire, at least one outspoken media commentator has publicly claimed to have seen an alleged sex tape featuring Meghan, a truly shocking assertion that remains entirely unverified and is potentially defamatory, but has nonetheless become a dark staple in the online chatter surrounding her.
There was a sex tape about her.
And Meghan's wild, dude. Like, I saw that tape and she was pretty sexual and it was pretty wild.
Whether these are baseless smears designed to discredit her or carefully concealed truths, they are consistently weaponized by her detractors to question her character and motivations, suggesting a ruthlessly calculated ascent long before royalty ever entered the picture. And if old rumors weren't enough, new ventures have allegedly brought fresh legal nightmares to her doorstep. Indeed, lawsuits, or at least the very public threat of them, are reportedly brewing, adding another layer of stress to the Sussex brand. One of the most talked about recent threats involves a potential multi-million-dollar suit from a woman in Maryland. She claims that a DIY bath salt recipe promoted by Meghan, possibly on her Netflix show or related lifestyle platforms, caused her severe burns and ulcers due to her diabetic condition and the alleged use of ingredients like arnica and Himalayan salt. The woman is reportedly aiming to sue Meghan, Netflix, and their company Archewell for a staggering sum, allegedly up to $10 million. This accusation, whether it ultimately proceeds to court or not, directly feeds into a damaging narrative of carelessness or a concerning lack of due diligence in the lifestyle products and advice she and her brand promote. While precise details on other significant legal scuffles often remain murky until official filings, any such threats of lawsuits only serve to further tarnish their already embattled public image, suggesting a pattern of unforeseen consequences and mounting problems. With business ventures faltering and legal clouds gathering, the narrative of victimhood they once championed is now facing intense scrutiny. The carefully constructed narrative of Harry and Meghan as solitary victims battling a cruel establishment is, by many accounts, collapsing under its own weight, becoming a significant public relations problem. Their continued public complaints and tell-all interviews, books, documentaries, and even Harry's more recent remarks about sensitive family issues or ongoing security squabbles are increasingly met not with sympathy, but with widespread public fatigue and sharp accusations of hypocrisy. Public support, especially in the UK but also waning elsewhere, appears to have nosedived, with a pervasive perception that their actions are not only self-serving but are actively, and perhaps intentionally, damaging the monarchy's reputation. The glaring contradiction between their repeatedly stated desire for a private life, away from media intrusion, and their relentless pursuit of the spotlight through high-profile media deals, brand launches, and constant public statements is a point of almost universal derision. For a growing number of observers, their us against the world posture now looks less like a brave stand against injustice and more like a calculated and increasingly failing strategy to deflect attention from their own strategic errors and misjudgments. So, after years of drama, declarations, and daring escapes, where does Meghan Markle truly stand today? The unraveling of the Duchess, as some critics now call her, offers a stark and ongoing look at the perils faced by a modern royal renegade. The authenticity crisis fueled by tearless interviews, the relentless tussles over titles she supposedly disdains, the fumbling and often chaotic business blunders, the persistent and dark rumors from her pre-royal past, the fresh threats of legal action, and the spectacularly failing victim narrative. All these elements paint a vivid picture of a meticulously curated public image coming apart at the seams. Her journey could well be seen as a cautionary tale about the immense complexities of attempting to escape a powerful, ancient institution and the unforeseen pitfalls of trying to control a global narrative in the relentless, unforgiving glare of the 24/7 news cycle and the insta-trial of social media. The tangible consequences are starkly visible, a public image that is, for many, deeply and perhaps irreparably damaged, family relationships reportedly strained to the absolute breaking point, and a constant, seemingly exhausting battle for relevance and positive public perception. It's widely argued that their very Hollywood approach to managing their grievances and subsequent personal branding efforts may have backfired spectacularly, alienating not just former allies and institutions, but also a significant portion of the global public they once sought to inspire. Is Meghan Markle a calculated architect of her own misfortune, a naive player out of her depth, or is the final act of her story still to be written? Share your theories below.